I don't know. Why did the survivor cross the road? Oh, Blight, you certainly have a way with words. Welcome back to another episode of our Best Build series here on YouTube, where today we will be looking at one of my new favorite killers to play since his FOV update just a few weeks ago, the Blight. He is, in my opinion, assuming you play him well, one of the strongest killers in the game. Blight's special ability is the Rush. You press the power button to quickly rush forward. Doing so consumes a Rush token. At base kit, you have 5 tokens. There can be one less depending on the add-on that you are using, but at base, you will have 5 Rush tokens. While performing Rush, the Blight cannot launch an attack. You rush into a wall or an obstacle in the environment to slam onto it. Just so you know, that doesn't always work. If the Rush fails to connect with a wall or an obstacle, or if the Blight is out of Rush tokens, he will enter a short fatigue state and begin recharging the tokens. The special attack, the Lethal Rush. Following a slam, press the power button to launch a Lethal Rush. Doing so consumes a Rush token. A Lethal Rush behaves the same as a Rush, except that the Blight may launch an attack by pressing the attack button. One of the things I really like the most about the Blight is just how versatile he is, both with his perks and his add-ons. There are so many different builds you can do with him. Some are a little sillier, some are a little more fun, but this build in particular is good for 2 reasons. One, if you are learning Blight, you're very new to Blight, this build will help you carry you along through the match, where you can start to practice his power, learn how his angles work on his turns, and just help you get more comfortable playing as the Blight. And secondly, and kind of on top of that, this build is good if you just want to win. For this first perk, I'm pretty sure I have not recommended this perk in any of my other Best Build videos, even though it is one of the strongest perks in the game. I tried to think about this or that perk for Blight, just because this perk is so strong. I tend not to use it a lot myself. However, I looked at it, it just made sense to use this perk, and that is, of course, Hex Ruin. Hex Ruin, a hex that affects all survivor generator repair progress. All generators are affected by Hex Ruin. While a generator is not being repaired by a survivor, it will immediately and automatically regress repair progress at 200% of the normal regression speed. For the second perk, let me guess, you're all thinking it, right? You all know it's coming. You know, you would be wrong. It is not Hex Undying. It is instead, I just went past it, Pop Goes the Weasel. I know. There's a reason we are not using Undying. So the whole point of this build, as you'll see when I finish with the other 2 perks, is all about gen defense and gen regression. Yes, Ruin Undying, even though it's not as strong as it was before the nerf, when it could take sometimes up to 5 cleanses of the Hex totems to get rid of Ruin, it's still really good, but as a backup gen defense, Ruin Undying is always a gamble. You could have Ruin Undying for the entire match, or you could have both totems go within the first 60 seconds. It has happened to me multiple times. So if you lose all of your gen regression, this build kind of goes out the window. You want Ruin to last as long as it can in this game, but if Ruin inevitably does go, Pop Goes the Weasel is a amazing backup perk that you can utilize throughout the game that the survivors can't take away from you by cleansing your totem. Now, for those who don't know, what does Pop Goes the Weasel do? After hooking a survivor, the next generator you damage instantly loses 25% of its progress. Normal generator regression applies after the damage generator action. Pop Goes the Weasel is active for 45 seconds after the survivor is hooked. Unfortunately, this means if your Ruin does go and you are relying on Pop Goes the Weasel, you do have to stop to kick those generators for a second. But as Blight is so quick to catch up anyway, honestly, you don't really lose all that time. And as I said, this way you are guaranteed to have some sort of gen regression throughout the game, even if Ruin goes early. For our third perk, and this is arguably the most important perk in this entire arsenal, that perk is Tinkerer. When a generator is repaired to 70% repair progress, it triggers a loud noise notification and you are granted the undetectable status for 16 seconds. What does this mean? Basically, as it says, when a generator hits 70%, you will get a notification on which gen it is, and because you are Blight, you can quickly rush on over there. If Ruin is still up, you push the survivors off and it already starts regressing. Or if you have Pop Goes the Weasel, you can pop it and immediately take it down 25%. And then on top of that, once they start repairing it again and it hits 70% for the second time, third time, fourth time, whatever it is, you will once again get Tinkerer. There is no cooldown penalty on Tinkerer. On top of that, the undetectable status for 16 seconds means for that 16 seconds while Tinkerer is active, you will not be given off a terror radius to the survivors. If they're paying attention, they're more than likely will hear Blight running into objects and whatnot. But if they're not, if they're just focused on the gen and not paying attention to what you're doing, you might be able to sneak up on them and get a hit, or if they're injured, a down. The one thing you will have to decide though is if you are in a chase and Tinkerer goes off, you have to make a choice, especially if Ruin is gone. If you think you can down the survivor in about another 2 to 3 seconds, I would suggest downing the survivor and hooking them and quickly running over to the gen and getting a pop on it. However, if you suspect there's more than one survivor on there, 2, maybe 3 survivors stacked on this gen, my recommendation would be to break off chase and go over to that gen and defend it as much as you can, because as I said, this whole perk build is all about gen defense. The choice, though, is up to you, and as you play Blight and as you play more of this build, you will start to learn when it's good to break off chase and go for a gen, or when you should just finish the gen and maybe risk going afterwards. For our last perk, many of you who are familiar with me either on Twitch or in my other YouTube videos here, you probably already think you know what the last perk is. Barbecue and chili. Plot twist! It is not barbecue and chili. However, full disclosure, if you're watching me play this game on Twitch, since you watched this video, more than likely I am running barbecue, but I need the blood points. I just need my blood points. Our fourth perk, though, in this build is Corrupt Intervention. Your prayer invokes a dark power that meddles with a survivor's chances of survival. 3 generators located furthest from you are blocked by the entity for 120 seconds at the start of the trial. Survivors cannot repair these generators for the duration. Affected generators are highlighted by a white aura. So, in the first 2 minutes, the survivors are not able to work the gens that they more than likely are spawning right beside. They're also the 3 farthest gens from you, the Blight. So you're able to get some early pressure in that first 2 minutes as you're able to traverse the map so quickly. You're more than likely going to find the survivors pretty quickly, even if it's just one of them. Hopefully get a down or at least some hits to get some early pressure going on the survivors before you have to start the game of checking in on all your gens with Tinkerer, Ruin, and Pop Goes the Weasel. In terms of Blight's add-ons, there are a lot of fun different combinations that you can do with this character. But for this video in particular, I'm going to be recommending 2 green ones. First off, the Umbra Salt moderately increases your turn rate while rushing. Full disclosure, if you are learning Blight for the first time or you're relatively new to the character, even though I'm recommending the Umbra Salt, I actually recommend that you don't use any turning add-ons for your first 5, 8 games, give or take. All depends on how comfortable you're getting with the character. The reason being for that is because if you train yourself to rely on these increased turn rates with either the Umbra Salt or the Plague Bile, you're gonna severely limit yourself from other fun add-on combinations that you can do. Yes, having the increased turn rate is fantastic, but if you need to get hits, you're seriously limiting yourself for some other builds that I'm going to show you in a second. The second add-on that I'm going to be using in this build is Compound 21. When initiating a slam, reveal the aura of survivors within 8 meters of the collision location for 3 seconds. This is kind of like having I'm all ears, which I recommended in my Pyramid Head best build video, except instead of the survivors having to quick vault something, whenever Blight collides with an object, he will get the aura reading of survivors within 8 meters for 3 seconds, which can help you make last second quick decisions on which direction you are going to be going for your second, third, fourth rush to get that attack. Now, if you do run out of compound 21, the Blighted Crow is also great, which increases your rush speed for each consecutive rush, meaning you're going to get across the map just that much faster. Typically, I try to avoid recommending eerie or even purple add-ons, but in this instance, this combination is just so strong and so fun. That is Compound 33 and the Alchemist Ring. The Compound 33, any survivor within 16 meters of a slam will suffer from the hindered status effect for 3 seconds, meaning that they will be moving at a slower speed for that 3 seconds. Also, on top of it, slamming pallets or breakable walls will destroy them and stun the Blight for 1.5 seconds. So when you're using your rush and you hit a down pallet or a breakable wall, it will immediately break instead of you having to M1 as you typically do with Blight's base kit. Now, with the Alchemist Ring to pair it with the Compound 33, hitting a survivor with a lethal rush will instantly recharge all rush tokens. So, say you're down to your last token and you hit the survivor, you will instantly be back to 5 tokens, so you can immediately start rushing again. And because they are more than likely suffering from the hindered status effect, they are a bit slower and can make less distance on you before you start rushing at them, leading for some potential very quick downs. As always with these best build videos though, guys, what better way to show you how this build works than to have a game with Blight in Dead by Daylight. Blight, are you ready, my friend? And we're going to be spawning in on the Rancid Abattoir on Colwyn Farm to be showing off this best build video for Blight. Now, which gens are going to be... Oh, sorry about that. So our 3 farthest gens are all corrupted. As you can see, we have no scratch marks around us. So we're going to quickly check inside here. Actually, you know what? We're going to cut... And just as I predicted, someone right along to the right there. There's 2 people here. And our first casualty of collision with Blight, but don't worry, she messed up, so it balances out. Blight doesn't always collide very well with certain things, and yes, you can hit over that railing, as I just showed you. We're gonna leave that. I got spun around there. Is this a Swift? We might have a Swift here, so we're gonna take advantage of this greed. Do we have basement? We don't. That's unfortunate. They're right on the gen. That is not Tinkerer, by the way. I think they're wanting attention. They might be wanting attention, or they suck at skill checks. I see you. Nice. I thought I was gonna get fat shamed there. Nice. Little smack on that booty. We're gonna break this pal. Oh, not where I meant to go. Gonna hide our light here for a second. Good dead hard. Oh, you're still here. Get that split pressure going. Oh, good spin around. Well done, Yui. I know someone's on the gen there to the right. I think Tinkerer just went off. It did. In the far corner. So we're gonna leave. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that. God pallet already gone. That's good for me. He went. Oh, I got stuck in the corner. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. We gotta push these guys off here. Like I said, I don't know if this is a Swift, but there's a good possibility. They seem very coordinated and well together. That's the far gen we were just left. Does she have dead hard? No. And she has the flashlight, so we don't have to worry about that. We're gonna get the hook up here. Losing that far gen, not the end of the world. We have a little 3 gen here we can capitalize on if we need to. Yes, I just looked for my barbecue aura, even though I didn't have barbecue, because that's what I do. Over here, gotcha. Oh, the damn you tree. Damn you. Drop the pallet. Damn it. She'll drop the pallet now. Or not. She has dead hard, remember? I think it was Days that had dead hard, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. There's a hook here. Now, guess where we're heading. They were smart. They'd... kind of hoping he would drop that. He has to drop it now. Oh. You must have dead hard, do you? There we go. I just wanted to bait it out. I wanted it gone. Good turn. They're split up here. Ah, I pushed M2. That's unfortunate. I just pushed him the right way. He's got the pallet. Ah, man, you get caught on corners of things. Like, it's so unfortunate. I need the hook. I need the pressure here. It's one of the rough things of Blight is getting caught on random things that can really screw you over in times of need. I want to check on my gen here. Someone's over here. That wasn't the play. Ah, I'm gonna get pallet stunned. Damn it, I tried to swing out of it. Get it right back down. Which is good, because now we're back over where our 3 gen is. So we're gonna hang her up here. Rune is lasting a really good amount of time for us, which is awesome. Take an ace out as well. Poking them both right in our 3 gen here. Now we got Bloodlust. Confused her. I am gonna leave. I see them. I just need to get them off this gen. Thought I saw something. Okay. Gen regressed just a tad, not past 70, so we're gonna do the quickly hook here and then go right back. I might not make it in time. There goes Ruin. But luckily, we can do this now. Instantly take off 25% regression because a pop goes the weasel. The timing of losing Ruin was actually really good there. She had to drop that, which is good for us. She's going to Pig Tree. Unfortunately, I can't capitalize on that. Wasn't sure where she was. Someone has touched this gen, which means someone else is here. We'll get another pop goes the weasel, thankfully. As soon as we hook right over here, save some of the hooks in our 3-gen. There's Tinker going off. If both of them are, we should even still be able to get it, even if both of them are on there. 2 dead, nice. She's off it. Oh my god, we're going wide. If Ace is here, no, he's not. Good. It's just Nancy. She left, which is good for us. Oh, we're going way over to the shack, are we? Oh, just missed the tree, unfortunate. There's only 2 people left, which is why I didn't go to that gen right now, because we can get pressure on the Nancy and get one of them down. So not necessarily the end of the world. Good fake out. Slid across all of that, which is Blight sometimes. That's still regressing. Scratch marks here. Hi, Ace. Good job. I aim to drop this pallet. Good. That right there, I didn't want to lose a 2nd gen for greed. So it was important to immediately break off Ace there, especially because he wasn't in the injured state. So it wasn't a 1-hit down. So we had to get back on that gen and pop it here. Even though Ace is right there, we're going to pop this quickly. He'll go for the save. We'll get it down on him. I didn't swing right away because I knew Nancy would be going for the borrowed time block. Now we can get him hooked. She is still around. She has lingered. I see her. Now we're just gonna wait out DS. But as you can see here, great pressure across the board. They only got 3 gens done, and that's when we basically allowed them to have that gen in the corner over there. It just wasn't worth breaking off to go defend it when there was only 2 people left and at 3 gens at the time. We had Ruin for a really good portion of this game. Sometimes survivors will spawn right in front of Ruin and you lose it in the first 15 seconds. Other times you get it for a good portion of the game. We had a good balance of Ruin and Pop Goes the Weasel, showing why Pop Goes the Weasel is such a great backup perk opposed to Undying, because you always run the risk of them cleansing both totems very early, and then this whole build kind of goes out the window. Yes, you have Tinkerer to let you know when the gens are at 70%. However, you don't have the regression perk, so when you kick it, it's not going to do a whole lot. And Corrupt Intervention slowing us down in the beginning of the game so we can get some early pressure on the survivors before we have to start heading to all these gens. We're just going to give her a few more seconds. Hopefully you guys found this very helpful. Let's pick her up and see. I don't know if that was long enough time. I wasn't really paying attention. It was. Perfect. A great game of Blight against really good players too. Knew how to use their loops, knew how to avoid Blight's turns. If Blight's all about angles. Little dance party at the end there. I like it. I wish we could have done more of that. That would have been really cool. But the good thing to counter against Blight is knowing how to use his angles against him. He can only use certain degrees, which is, again, why I like to use the Umber Salt to give you that increased turning rate, just to help a little bit more, especially with those tighter loops when trying to use Blight's power. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. And also let me know what builds you like to use, because as I was saying earlier, there are a lot of different builds that you can use on Blight. He's such a versatile character, which is one of the reasons why he is one of my current favorites in Dead by Daylight. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more builds and more DVD content in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I would appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button as well. And I stream on Twitch 5 days a week. Would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped. And we'll see you next time.